All right, we got 1 minute then.
The chosen one has arrived.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, indeed. Hayes Larks, they will lead things off with the center fielder Keone Givens. Jonathan Soberanes will bat second at second base. Colin Simpson is the DH. He bats third. Trevor Boone is in the cleanup spot. He's in right field. Clayton Raspberry will bat fifth in left field. Mikey Gangwish does the catching. He'll bat sixth. Jacob Boston is at third base batting seventh. Jace Seltzer bats eighth. He's at first base. And Trey Ochoa, the shortstop, rounds it out batting ninth for the Hayes Larks. On the mound tonight for Hayes will be another left-hander, and that is Walter Pennington, going through his warm-ups now. 6'2", 190 pounds from Broomfield, Colorado. Plays his college ball at the Colorado School of Mines for the Ore Diggers. 7 games for the Larks so far this summer. Pennington is 2-1 with a 2.30 ERA in 43 innings of work. Both these teams 1-1 so far in pool play, and they have both lost to the Cheney Diamond Dogs, who have already clinched a spot in the championship week quarterfinals. And so it is this second and last spot up for grabs. And I'll now welcome in my partner, Brad Streeter. And Brad, I think as far as feature games go, as far as 7 o'clock games go, as far as win or go home games go, it's hard to beat a matchup of teams like the Hayes Larks and the Seattle Studs, who have been coming here certainly as long as I can remember.
Well, and when you take a look at what's been going on as far as these two teams over the history, you've got one of the more, as far as longevity goes, with the Hayes Larks being around since 1946, basically, as the Hayes Larks. But then you also have the Seattle Studs, who, under the tutelage of their head coach, roughly 27 years, they have been a mainstay here in the NBC for most of us, our natural lives.
Walter Pennington, the left-hander, deals a first pitch strike on the outside corner to Landon Riker to get us underway. Our first pitch comes at 7:03 p.m. Central Standard Time. First pitch temperature 82 degrees here in Wichita as he deals up and outside to Riker. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pennington's going to work exclusively out of the stretch off the first base side. And he bounces one down and in, 2 balls and a strike. The Hayes Larks wearing blue tops tonight with what looks like kind of a Desert Storm camo on the sleeves and making its way up the shoulder over gray pants with the red cap and the blue bill. Very traditional look for the Seattle Studs tonight. All white uniforms, black numerals on the back, and the all black cap. 2-1. Bouncing ball down towards third base will trickle foul, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Landon Riker. 3 for 7 in the tournament so far. 0 for 3 with an RBI in the Studs victory the last time out against the San Antonio Angels. 2-2, grounded sharply. This one's fair. It's off the tip of the glove of Boston and rolling into foul territory. Riker digging around first. He's heading for second. Throw there is not going to be in time, and it's a lead-off double to start things for the Studs here in the top of the first.
You know, we noticed there's a little bit of a worn area right there around third base, not knowing if that's maybe just a little bit more of a hard area around, but that ball really looked like it got it and got on the third baseman in a hurry.
Boston did good to get leather on it, but he could not quite knock it down as it trickled behind him into foul territory. And credit to Riker, who was busting it out of the box the whole way and never hesitated. As now Connor Savage, the center fielder, stands in, and he fouls it right at home plate. 0-1. Connor Savage having a good tournament so far, 3 for 8. 2 for 5 with a couple of runs scored last time out for the Studs, who bounced back to beat the San Antonio Angels after dropping a heartbreaking championship week opener to the Diamond Dogs. We'll get into that a little bit later as the 0-1 just misses off the plate outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Seattle was leading Cheney 8-2 after 5 innings in their opener, but gave up 4 in the 6th, 1 in the 8th, and 2 more in the 9th, and lost 9-8. There's a breaking ball for a strike from Pennington, and it's now 1-2. And so we are left with a situation in which 2 perennial powers in this NBC World Series have their backs up against the wall. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pennington kicks and fires. Little ground ball out towards second base. That's going to do the job. So Baranes fields and tosses to first in time. But Riker will advance to third on the play. Nice job of productive hitting by Connor Savage, and there's 1 down with a man just 90 feet away for Ryan Budnick.
Well, and how important was it for Riker to be able to have a heads-up play and really take that turn at first and make the additional base, putting him in a scoring position.
So now it's Budnick. Just last night won the NBC World Series Home Run Derby after the feature game involving the Kansas Stars. First pitch to him, fastball grabs the outside corner, 0-1. Those Home Run Derby homers weren't the only long balls that Budnick has been launching. He has connected for a round tripper in each of the first 2 games of this NBC. Fastball works up and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Played his college ball for Edmonds Community College and in Santa Clara. He has graduated now. 1-1. Chopping ground ball is foul, 1-2. The Studs are kind of an interesting situation compared to the rest of the NBC field in that the league they play in, the Pacific International League, allows semi-pro or graduated players to participate and in fact encourages it. And so you will see a lot of relatively older guys on this Seattle roster who have been around this tournament for a long time, as the 1-2 misses outside with a fastball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. But the Larks entirely comprised of college youngsters. 2-2, popped up, should be playable. First baseman Seltzer in foul ground, ranging towards the Larks dugout, makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Big second out there from Walter Pennington as he strands Riker at third, and it will now be up to Lauren Archibald. Left on left matchup for Pennington now as Archibald stands in. He has been one of the hottest hitters in this tournament so far for the Studs. 4 for 8, including a 3 for 4 outing his last time out. Tacking on a double in that performance. He takes outside 1-0. For Walter Pennington on the summer, in those 43 innings of work, he allowed 33 hits. Excellent strikeout to walk ratio of 2-1. He punched out 22 and walked 11, but he misses down and away to Archibald, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on the Studs DH. Just underway, top half of the first inning, no score. Outfield deep and straight away. Here comes Pennington's 2-0. Wave and a miss. Took something off to the outside portion of the plate. Had Archibald waving through it. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Leadoff double. Ground out to second. Pop out to first has brought us to this situation. Grounded down towards third base. Boston's got this one. Sets his feet. Throws across in time. And the
For nearly 60 years, Goodwill has helped people like Alexis develop skills through job and education opportunities. A diagnosis of cerebral palsy at a young age has never gotten Alexis down. With the help of a Goodwill employment training specialist, she started working for a local nonprofit agency, which provides support for families of children with developmental disabilities. Now she's the face of their Wichita office, and she enjoys making a difference in other people's lives. Donate, shop, educate, employ. Learn more and give at goodwillks.org.
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, head to visitwichita.com for all there is to see and do.
For the Studs, 1-0 with a 4.34 ERA and 18 2/3 innings of work. Allowed just 13 hits, and the good news is he struck out 31 in those 18 innings. The bad news is he walked 17, so a guy with big-time swing and miss stuff, but has had at times some issues with the command. And he'll be facing right, left to start things for the Larks here in the bottom half of the first inning. Feenstra has also played professionally. Back in 2016, he appeared in 7 games combined with the Joliet Slammers of the Frontier League and the Trois-Rivières Eagles of the Can-Am League. In those 7 games, an ERA of 12. And so we've got a couple of left-handers, one who will be a sophomore in college in Walter Pennington, and one in Donovan Feenstra, who is nearly 6 years his senior and has already played professional baseball. An interesting matchup tonight, to say the least.
He's been around the block a couple of times.
You could say that for a lot of these Seattle Studs players as Keone Givens stands in and he cuts through a fastball in the outside corner. 0-1. Nowhere is that experience better reflected than behind the plate for Seattle. Garrett Breda, getting the start back there tonight, has been with this club 11 seasons. 0-1 is low, 1 ball and 1 strike. And the other catcher on the Seattle roster, Kyle Sutherland, has been with the Studs for 5 years. Not many college summer teams can boast 16 years of combined experience for their catchers. 1-1 down and outside, 2 balls and a strike now on Givens. From Choctaw, Oklahoma, 5'8", 165 pounds. Givens plays his college ball for the Sooners of Oklahoma. 2-1. Lined out towards right center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Savage over to cut it off towards the gap. He will hold Givens on at first, but it's a leadoff single for the Larks here in the bottom half of the first inning.
Nice job just staying with the pitch on the outside part of the plate and really just driving that one and staying right with the pitch.
Givens has good speed on at first base. Might be a threat to go at some point. Jonathan Soberanis will come to the plate. Just 1 for 8 in the tournament so far. Squares to bunt, takes down and outside as Breda thought about a throw back to first, but elected to hold on to it. 1 ball and no strikes. Soberanis looking down at longtime Hayes Larks head coach Frank Leo in his 35th season at the helm of the Larks. Now the 1-0, squaring again is Soberanis, but this time he takes a strike, 1-1. Won't find a better matchup of managers than Frank Leo for the Larks and Barry Aiden for the Studs. Both boast more than 1,000 career victories. And both NBC Hall of Famers. Soberanis squares again, 1-1, gets it down out in front of the plate, nice bunt. Fielding it with the bare hand and making the toss to first is Feenstra, and it's just in time to get Soberanis, but a well-executed sacrifice advances Givens to second with 1 out. 1-3 goes the put out if you're scoring along at home, and that will bring Colin Simpson to the plate. Simpson, the regular season Jayhawk League Triple Crown winner. Led the circuit in average, home runs, and RBI, and has had a good tournament so far, 3 for 7. First one to him, fastball runs up and inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Left on left matchup here for Feenstra. Working out of the stretch off the third base side of the rubber. Brings the hands to a shoulder high set, gives a check of Givens on at second. 1-0 is low, 2 balls and no strikes. The Seattle Studs, representatives of the Pacific International League. 37-7 overall, 23-3 to win the league crown by 5 games over the Everett Merchants. Fastball on the inside corner, 2-1 now to Simpson. The Merchants have already clinched a spot in the championship week quarterfinals. They'll be taking on the Santa Barbara Foresters in a matchup that has already been set. Also in the PIL, you've got the Northwest Honkers, who have played a lot of games here in the NBC. As the fastball misses low to Simpson, it's now 3 balls and a strike on the Hayes DH. No score, bottom half of the first inning. The Larks with a man at second base and 1 out.
I do remember the Honkers being here last year.
They have had some good clubs, but when you're fighting against the studs and the merchants every year, it can be tough to qualify. Fastball runs in tight, and Simpson's going to draw himself a one-out walk to put men aboard at first and second for Trevor Boone. The Studs are 17-time Pacific International League champions. This is their 21st NBC appearance. They have had 16 top 10 NBC finishes, including championships in 2013 and 2015. So Coach Aiden has brought home the titles, and he has brought home a boatload of wins to go along with him as the first pitch is in there for a strike to Boone, 0-1. Trevor Boone still looking for his first base hit in this 83rd NBC World Series. He is 0 for 9. But he bats in a big spot here in the first, cuts and misses, waves over the top of a breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
Nice job by Feenstra, really kind of pulling the string on that one.
Good back foot breaking ball there, really dropped off the table. And Boone just waves over the top of it. He's now down in an 0-2 hole and will have to spend the rest of the at-bat swinging it on Feenstra's terms. 0-2, and he grounds it foul towards the Studs' dugout. It ricochets off the fence and back onto the field of play. That was almost hit directly behind Boone. Another breaking ball down and in, and it is hard to do to foul a ball there. Givens led off the inning with a single. Soberanes bunted him to second. Simpson drew a walk. Another 0-2. Up and outside with a fastball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Feenstra was not supposed to be the starter tonight. Mitch Vito was the scheduled starter, but he was just signed by the Seattle Mariners. And so it is Feenstra who has to get the start tonight. His 1-2 is swung on and missed, but it gets all the way back to the screen. Boone will be out as first base was occupied, but both Givens and Simpson will advance to put 2 in scoring position with 2 out. So a big spot early in this ball game as Clayton Raspberry will come to the plate after the strikeout, but the wild pitch that skipped right by Breda. It'll be a left-on-left matchup here for Feenstra against a guy who has swung it well in this tournament. And Raspberry takes a strike, 0-1. Raspberry 4 for 9, including a home run. Last time out against the Diamond Dogs, had a couple more hits and scored 2 runs. Givens at third, Simpson at second. Swing and a foul tip, and watch out. He throws the bat into the stands. Looks like everyone is okay, and that bat has been promptly retrieved. But that is always a little bit scary to see the bat tossed like that. Just made its way beyond the screen, and so it was right over the first base dugout. Thankfully landed in some empty seats as the count moves to 0-2 on Raspberry. I'd imagine that prompted some stickum from Clayton Raspberry.
Well, interestingly enough, PA announcer starts going with a new batting glove and grip read here at the ballpark, so almost
timely.
right on cue.
Feenstra looking to shut down the Larks here in the first, and he'll do so. Swing and a miss at an excellent breaking ball moving.
Kansas Gas Service delivers natural gas to many of the companies you know, ensuring they have the energy they need to grow and build strong communities, providing cost-effective, safe, and reliable natural gas for a better tomorrow today. Kansas Gas Service.
For every celebration, for every 6 a.m. wake-up call, for every heartache, for every homecoming, for every home, there is York. Environmentally responsible and technologically advanced to provide the optimal home environment while keeping you connected. Life by You. Comfort by York.
Garrick and Brad Streeter on the call for you tonight. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 coming to the plate for the studs. Kyle Bode, Dylan Lavelle, and Nick Anderson, as the first offering from Walter Pennington is in there for a strike. 0-1 on Bo. Right-hand hitter takes a fastball just a little bit in tight. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bo, one of those older guys on this Seattle club, 30 years of age. Played his college ball at Western Oregon. And he flies this one down the right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble, but it's slicing and will go foul. Looked like it was dangerous off the bat and headed surely for extra bases, but just had a lot of slicing action. And that wind, which is blowing from the left field corner to the right, may have pushed that ball just to the right of the foul line as the count moves to 1-2. Bo making a bid for extra bases the way that Riker started the top of the first inning for the studs, but they ultimately could not bring him home. 1-2 upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. This studs team hit .324 in the regular season. Very prolific offense. Swinging a high, deep drive out to center field by Bo. Givens has it measured, though, and will make the catch in right center for the first out of the frame. Not a bad swing from Bo, but it's 1 up and 1 down for the studs, and that will get Dylan Lavelle to the plate. Lavelle, a former draft pick of the Detroit Tigers back in 2012. He went in the 18th round. And he takes a strike on the inside corner. Nice spot from Pennington, 0-1. Lavelle has played at Everett Community College and then Lewis and Clark State. Takes up and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 for 5 in the tournament so far. Had a good game against the Angels, 2 for 3, including a walk and 3 RBI, but he's out in front of a changeup. And now down the count, 1-2 to Walter Pennington. Pennington kicks and fires, misses up and away to even things up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beautiful night for baseball here in Wichita.
I think we've really gotten lucky.
I would agree. Down and inside, 3-2. The triple digits have not been around for a couple days now, and when you play on turf, it can even get a little bit hotter than that. But we have been very fortunate. Grounded sharply up the middle and on into center field. He kicked the dirt up right at the feet of Pennington, and Dylan Lavelle has himself a 1-out single here in the second.
It was really good hitting, just managing to get back to a full count. And popping that right back up the middle.
I think you can still see the dent where Lavelle ricocheted that one off the mound. And he is aboard at first base with 1 out for Nick Anderson, right-hand hitting shortstop, and he takes the first pitch fastball for a strike. Lavelle just 1 for 3 in stolen bases on the season, probably not much of a threat to go. Cut and a miss. Nice offering by Pennington, diving down and out of the strike zone, and he's ahead of the shortstop Anderson. No balls and 2 strikes. Now we'll make a move over, chasing Lavelle back to the bag. Studs can steal a base, but it's not necessarily what they're prolific at. 55 swipes and 76 attempts. Down and outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Neither one of these teams runs a whole lot. Hayes just 37 attempts on the summer. Breaking balls on the outside corner. It's a called strike 3, and Anderson is rung up for the second out here in the second. Backdoor breaking ball from Pennington caught the outside corner.
Had a chance to catch the Studs a little bit earlier this week. and really thought they ran the bases relatively aggressively. And I think we were watching them against Cheney possibly in one of our pre-games before we actually got to the feature matchup. I thought they did a pretty good job taking the extra base when it was available. But like you said, as far as getting to first, and then it's just like camp till something happens in front of you.
There's a swing and a high fly ball out to left field by Breda. Back on it is Raspberry. At the warning track will reach and make the catch to retire the side. A few good swings in the inning, most notably the flyouts from Bo and Breda around the Lavelle single. But it's another scoreless frame for Walter Pennington as he sends us to the bottom half of the second. Still no score here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. You're listening to the NBC World Series on KQAM.
Are you having trouble getting your crop out of the field due to the wet conditions? Susie Track Systems for your combine has state-of-the-art technology. Our rubber track systems places very little stress on the ground, even in extreme conditions created by muddy or wet soil, which significantly reduces soil compaction. Outstanding traction removes wheel slippage, which prevents your machine from bogging down, fuel wastage, lost time, and surface correction, which equals money wasted. Susie International has 48 years experience in the track business, and Preferred Equipment has 15 years in the egg track business. If you are interested in this kind of time, money, and field savings that we are offering with our track systems, then call Don at 620-899-8380 or 620-585-2208. Also ask about our lease options. That's Susie Track Systems. Give us a call today.
No score as we move into the bottom half of the second inning here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. The Hayes Larks and the Seattle Studs trying to earn a place in the Championship Week quarterfinals. A number of teams have already secured bids, but we still have two spots up for grabs. One from Pool B, the matchup here tonight, and one from Pool D. That will be in the game to follow with the Mulvane Patriots and the Wellington Heat doing battle. Mikey Gangwish, the starter, will get it started. He flies one out towards right center field. It is falling quickly, and it's down in front of the center fielder, Savage, for a leadoff single. So Hayes starting the second, exactly how they did the first, and that's a leadoff base knock. They could not bring home Givens. We'll see if they can do better this time as Jacob Boston will come to the plate. See if Boston is asked to lay down a bunt. That's what the Larks did in the first. So Baranes got down a successful sacrifice, and then Simpson walked. But the inning sputtered from there with back-to-back strikeouts for Feenstra, who deals up and outside to Boston, 1 ball and no strikes. Frank Leo running through a series of signs down at third, claps the hands together. As Feenstra holds the ball behind his back, now brings the hands to a shoulder-high set. 1-0 coming. No sign of a bunt again, and Boston again takes a fastball up and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Left-hand hitting Jace Seltzer to follow. Then a switch hitter, Trey Ochoa, if the inning gets that far for the Larks. Still looking for the game's first run here in the bottom of the second. And Boston grounds it sharply through the left side under the glove of the diving shortstop Anderson. And back-to-back base hits to start things in the second for the Larks. So it's Seltzer now, and now I guess the same question comes to the fore. Will Hayes play the small ball? Will they let Seltzer swing away against a southpaw? Seattle certainly thinks that he is bunting. They have both the corners, Bo and Budnick, in. He squares around, pulls the bat back. Snap throw down to second is late on a fastball that was high, and Breda uncorked a strong throw down to Anderson, who slapped a tag just a little bit late on the back of Gangwish.
Catcher versus catcher. Maybe somebody wanting to take some notes out there.
That was a lightning quick release from the veteran Breda. And good communication, too, by Anderson to flash in behind. Ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch. Fastball runs outside. Seltzer again squared, but was able to pull the bat back, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Again, Feenstra at times this summer struggled with command. 17 walks in 18 2/3 innings. Haven't really seen that rear its head yet tonight. But his 2-0 is way inside, and it's now 3 balls and no strikes. He walked Simpson back in the first, but I feel like that was more just because there was a base open and you don't want to have to pitch to Colin Simpson. But now he is one more wide one away from loading the bases with nobody out. Here comes his 3-0. Up and inside, ball 4, and Seltzer takes a 4-pitch walk, and the sacks are juiced for Trey Ochoa. That's going to prompt a visit to the mound as Garrett Breda will come out for a quick visit. The shortstop, Bo, coming in for a few words of encouragement as well. The batter, Trey Ochoa, switch hitting shortstop, will swing it from the right side. He's got Gangwish at third, Boston at second, and Seltzer on at first. As the Larks try and grab the game's first lead here in the bottom half of the second inning. Feenstra is going to go ahead and work out of the stretch. And his first pitch fastball's on the inside corner, 0-1. Trey Ochoa from Sam Houston State. Only has 2 hits in the tournament, but they've both been triples.
Well, that's all you brought.
0-1. Nice slider. Snaps across the inside corner. It's 0-2.
There are times when I wish I had at least a couple of triples in my bag.
That would require something called speed. I'm just not sure you bring that to the ballpark.
That's really judging me.
0-2 is tap foul.
Or perhaps you read the scouting report.
I've seen your 40 time. It's nothing to write home about. So unless somebody breaks an ankle out in right center, you're pulling in at 2. Feenstra looking for a big strikeout. We'll see if he can get it as 0-2 is up and outside, a fastball. Ochoa wouldn't chase, 1-2.
Usually my extra base hits did involve a team effort. Somebody would have to kick the ball in the outfield.
Single and a 3-base error.
You bet. Whatever it took.
1-2. Breaking ball flown out to right field. This should get the run home. Riker backing up, sets the feet, makes the catch. Tagging at third is Gangwish. The throw will be all the way through. Gangwish slides in safely. Moving up to third on the play is Boston. And it's 1-0 Larks here in the bottom half of the second. But Gangwish has come up hobbling. He is limping his way back to the first base dugout. Hope he is okay. Not sure if there was something awkward on the headfirst dive there, but he is definitely laboring right now. He does score the run, though. It's a sacrifice fly for Ochoa. And Larks have a 1-0 lead as we head back to the top of the order for Keone Givens. He squares to bunt and takes a changeup on the outside corner for a called strike 1. So the Larks maybe trying to get tricky with a potential squeeze there. They've got men at the corners and 1 out.
Well, for Feenstra right now, this is the time to really bear down and get after a batter.
Givens already with a single in the ball game. Driving one out towards right center field back in the bottom of the first. Long pause by Feenstra. And he has no intention of delivering towards home plate as eventually Givens, tired of waiting, will call time. Should mention Josh Shepis is the home plate umpire tonight. Greg Mudd, the man in black, down at first, and Jeff Spizak is our third base umpire. The 0-1. Slider stays down on outside, and it's a ball and a strike. The inning starting on singles from Gangwish and Boston. Seltzer trying to lay down a sacrifice bunt, drew a 4-pitch walk. Ochoa, the sacrifice fly, has brought us to this 1-0 score. Still men on the corners and 1 out. Donovan Feenstra kicks and delivers the 1-1, and he grabs the inside corner. Another slider. Givens raised the arms up above his head, but he is now down in a 1-2 hole. Seltzer, the man on at first, just 1 stolen base in the regular season. Grounder to second, could be 2. Lavelle goes to second for 1. Anderson back to first, not in time. Givens beats out the relay throw. That will score another run, and it's now 2-0 Larks on the RBI fielder's choice. Brad, I don't know if Lavelle or Anderson really did anything wrong. That's just the speed of Keone Givens beating it out.
You know, Givens really didn't get a good, almost looked like he was fooled just a little bit on that pitch and just kind of got the bat out there in the contact spot, but didn't really have a good follow-through on it.
Soberanes takes the first pitch up and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. So the 2 singles have come home to roost. And Givens still aboard at first base now with 2 outs in the frame. Soberanes laid down a sacrifice bunt his first time up. And takes just a little bit low with a fastball, 2 balls and no strikes. Big lefty, Feenstra ready, and deals. That's in there at the belt. 2 balls and a strike.
Now, last time we saw the Larks, they really weren't able to be very productive when they did have runners on, and that was very few and far between. But tonight, they have managed to at least get the runners moved and been able to keep putting the ball in play.
Might be a situation where Givens is on the move. He's not running here, and a slider stays tight. 3 balls and a strike. Feenstra, a part of a Seattle pitching staff that tossed up a 3.5 ERA this season. They were even better in PIL play, 2.84 in league competition. 3-1, that's on the outside corner, 3-2, and so Givens will now be on the move. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-0 Larks as we play here in the bottom half of the second. Studs have always had a reputation as an excellent pitching club. 3-2, grounder out toward shortstop. Anderson gobbles it up, and his toss to first is in time.
NBC baseball fans, make some noise if you wish you were mowing your lawn right now.
Just kidding. What if you could mow your lawn right from your stadium seat? Seriously, get out your phone, go to the App Store, and download the Lawn Buddy app. The first 100 people to book service with Lawn Buddy will be entered to win free lawn care for the rest of 2017. Lawn Buddy. Push button, get lawn care.
Love live music, craft beer, local food, and the great urban outdoors? You'll find it all at the first ever Wichita Vortex Music Festival, August 4th and 5th. It's a concert and camping event right where the Arkansas and Little Arkansas meet, next to the Keeper of the Plains. Dwight Yoakam stars with Moreland and Arbuckle, Okie Lafarge, Cherokee Maidens, Carrie Nation and the Speakeasy, and more. Concert tickets can be purchased alone or with a campsite. Wake up Saturday to all-you-can-eat pancakes and western swing. Tickets and details at WichitaVortexFest.com.
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, head to visitwichita.com for all there is to see and do.
Single.
Well, nice job by the Studs just laying that one down. Pushed it right in the spot where we've seen guys try to get it, but there is such a special spot over there in that little triangle between the pitcher's mound, first base, and roughly home plate. And only a very small area where you can actually drop that ball.
They'll get right with him up the first base line. It was ultimately the first baseman Seltzer who fielded it, but pitcher Pennington was late getting over. I don't think it would have mattered if he had been over there in a hurry anyway, as Becker can absolutely fly. He's got a big lead as Riker stands in. He shows bunt, takes outside. A snap throw down is in the dirt, and Seltzer has to pick it on the short hop. And it's 1 ball and no strikes on Riker, who led off the ball game with a ground ball down the third base line that tipped off the glove of Boston for a double. Step off and a throw over this time by Pennington. Becker, 12 of 15 in stolen bases in the regular season for the Studs. Not going. Pitch is bunted out in front of the plate. Pennington is on it. He will go to first. The throw there is accurate enough. Riker is out. Sacrifice completed as Becker advances to second on the 1-3. So Seattle electing to play a little bit of small ball. It did not work out for the Larks when they tried to sacrifice bunt in the first. We'll see if things change as Connor Savage will dig in now from the left side. Savage bounced out to the second baseman Soberanis, his first time up. Left-hand hitter against the left-hand throwing Pennington. Deals a breaking ball up and inside, and Savage was showing bunt, but he pulls the bat back 1-0. Like a lot of these Seattle studs, Savage played his college baseball for the University of Puget Sound, and he grounds it back up the middle on into center field, a base hit. Getting the wave around third is Becker. There will be no throw, and it's an RBI single for Connor Savage to pull the Seattle studs back to within 2-1 here in the third. Seen a couple balls tonight right back up the middle, and Pennington, despite his best effort at a kick save, has seen it go into center field. And the deficit has now been cut in half as Ryan Budnick will come to the plate.
First baseman number 19, Ryan Budnick.
So the small ball approach pays off for the studs. Budnick takes the first pitch strike, 0-1. Guy with 2 home runs already in this NBC World Series. He popped out to the first baseman Seltzer, his first time up. Open stance from the right side. He taps it back to the mound. Pennington's got it. He's going to go to second for one, and it's a wide throw on into center field. That's going to allow the runner to race to third. Throw there is almost offline. And the studs will have runners at the corners with 1 out.
That's just a little bit of hard luck for Walter Pennington as he got outfielded it well, but then as he turned, you could just tell he was just going all fluid and did not look like he had picked up the second baseman at all. Didn't look like he even picked up second base. I'm not sure what he had seen when he turned around, but I knew as soon as he got ready to unload it, there was just no way that that ball was going to be, there was not going to be a pass connection made there.
Now that's a difficult play, I think, for a pitcher because everything in your brain is telling you, hurry, hurry, hurry. You've got a runner trying to advance to second. But in order to make that throw accurately, you really kind of have to slow down, set your feet, and the old phrase is first one sure, second one quick. You definitely want to get that first out, and then if your second baseman can turn it, so much the better. But in this case, Pennington's throw was just way offline.
We do have some folks listening and watching on our YouTube channel tonight. So while you may be listening to us radio-wise here stateside, in the islands, Hawaii, we've got the Spears family that's listening tonight. Apparently, a nephew of a buddy of mine is supposed to be possibly pitching the in relief a little bit later on tonight. How exciting is that?
Very cool.
Pitching for the Seattle Studs. So, and I'm going to say this is Luke Goodgin.
First pitch, check the tap foul by Archibald, 0-1.
Roster to see where that's at.
I believe it's Gudgione.
Gudgione, okay. That would be the second one. And then I have to always make sure that everybody gets the spelling right. It's hard to get the pronunciation right if the spelling's not even close.
Fastball works off the plate outside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Archibald. Men at the corners, 1 out. 2-1 Larks our score. Certainly appreciate you tuning in wherever you may be. If that is in the contiguous United States or elsewhere. 1-1 is popped up. The shortstop Ochoa waiting for it to come down. Now drifts in towards third base, makes the grab. And it's a big second out for Pennington to keep men at the corners. But still 1 big out to get as Kyle Bowe will stand in. Leadoff bunt single, sacrifice bunt, RBI single. Then the fielder's choice E1 before that pop-up by Archibald, and now it's Bowe. He flew out to the center fielder Givens his first time up, and he lines it foul up the first base line. Second time tonight that Bowe has made a bid for extra bases into that right field corner. This one not struck as well, but again ends up just a few feet to the right of the foul line. Savage at third, Budnick at first. 0-1, bounced out towards shortstop. Ochoa will go the short way to second. It's in time. And the Studs are retired here in the top of the third, but not before the RBI single by Connor Savage has pulled them back to within 2-1. You're listening to the NBC World Series on KQAM.
Sand Creek Station Golf Club in Newton is bringing golfers together with the KGSO Special. 2 play for $50 during the month of July at Sand Creek Station. Range balls, green fees, cart, 2 play for $50 all month long at Sand Creek Station Golf Club in Newton. Sand Creek Station offers back tee overall length of 7,200 yards, so you can get out and stretch your game a little bit. Set your tee time now. Call 284-6161. 284-6161. 2 play for $50 Mondays through Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays after 4. Call Sand Creek Station now and ask for the KGSO Special.
Make sure your vehicle's AC is just right with a free Freon level check now at Just Right Auto Repair. They'll make sure your Freon's good to go at no charge with the purchase of any other service. Oil change, tire rotation, radiator flush, just whatever's clever, and they'll throw in the AC Freon check free. Bob Schaefer and the boys at Just Right Auto Repair, just west of West Street on the north side of Central, know that riding around in that
10 seconds.
malfunctioning air conditioner can make your attitude not quite just right. Just Right Auto Repair, 942-4747, 942-4747.
Donovan Feenstra back out for a third inning of work as the Hayes Larks will try and tack on to what is a 2-1 advantage. Here in the bottom half of the third inning, they'll send Colin Simpson, Trevor Boone, and Clayton Raspberry left, right, left to the plate against the Calgary, Alberta native Feenstra, who has had to battle his way through 2 innings. He has already had 2 innings of 20 pitches or more, and his first pitch to Simpson is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Needed 20 tosses to get through the first and 23 more to get through the second, so Feenstra could certainly use a quick inning. Brings the hands to the set and deals an 0-1. Slider stays outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Colin Simpson plays his college baseball for the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. Listed as a catcher, getting the start at designated hitter tonight, and he takes a fastball upstairs, 2-1. And his numbers on the summer, just silly. .451 average, 12 homers, and 50 RBI in just 35 games played. Oh, and he stole 4 bases. There's a strike, 2-2.
Hold on a second. He's a catcher and he stole 4 bases.
Nothing against the build of Colin Simpson, but he does not look like a guy who would steal any bases. 2-2. High pop-up, foul territory. Breda and Budnick coming over. It's Breda who makes the call and the catch right by the on-deck circle for the first out of the frame.
He has really just been missing some of the pitches that I've seen in the games that he's played in. I'm sure he's had some moments where he's really put the sting on the ball, but for the most part, I've seen an awful lot of his pop flies so far.
Well, I think a big part of it is that he's just not seeing a whole lot to hit. He has walked a number of times. Teams certainly cognizant of what he did in the regular season and not willing to give him anything good to hit in dangerous situations, as Boone takes a big swing and comes up empty, and it's 0-1.
So the dangerous situations would be basically any time he's in the batter's box.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you're going to face him, bases empty and nobody out is a good time to go after him, as Boone skies it out towards left center field. In after it is Becker, and he will make the call and the catch. Quickly 2 up and 2 down, as Feenstra has gotten exactly what he has needed so far, but still has to get through Clayton Raspberry, who was a strikeout victim back in the first. Raspberry already with a home run in this tournament. He hit 5 in the regular season to go along with a .346 average. And he takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Studs, as we mentioned, hit .324 in the regular season. The Larks hit .316. So both these teams can swing the sticks, but Raspberry with a half-hearted effort this time at a slider. He chased down and out of the zone, and it's 0-2.
Don't have the gun hooked up to the board, so we don't know where the speed is coming from, but
that one had some speed on it. Fastball up and inside, cut on and missed.
For 6 generations, this land has provided for this Kansas farmer's family. Now, it also provides affordable, clean energy for Kansas. Watch the full story at weststarenergy.com/clean energy.
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, head to visitwichita.com for all there is to see and do.
Hey, sir,
Love you, Coach. Thank you.
Breda, 6-7-8 due up for the Seattle Studs as we move into the top of the 4th inning. First pitch from Walter Pennington is a changeup that's swung on and missed by Lavelle. It's 0-1. Singled his first time up but was stranded there. As Pennington deals, bouncer left side, nice easy shoulder high hop for Boston. High throw, but keeping a foot on the bag is Seltzer. He actually came off momentarily, but then reached back and was able to find that red, white, and blue base. And it's 1 up and 1 down for the Studs here in the top of the 4th.
Usually to deal with throws like that, first base, you're always taught to get over and get your heels on the base first. Then if you do have to climb, at least it's a little bit easier. You already know where the bag's at. Nice job by the first baseman there just to control that throw.
Nick Anderson swings through the first offering from Pennington. He went down looking on strikes in the second, the only punch out that Pennington has recorded, but he's now ahead of him 0-2. A changeup, and Anderson has not really looked comfortable against the southpaw from Broomfield, Colorado. Fastball's on the inside corner, strike 3. So both strikeouts for Pennington have been against Anderson, and both have been looking, as that time he had him looking for something else and ran a fastball right on the inner black. 2 up, 2 down, and Garrett Breda will come to the plate. Flew out to the left fielder Raspberry his first time up and takes upstairs 1-0. Pennington, mostly a reliever for the Colorado School of Mines this past spring, only made 1 start for them. Foul tipped back to the screen by Breda, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. But he has transitioned to a starting role for the Larks this summer. All 7 of his appearances have been as a starter, and he has been excellent for them.
You take a little bit of that confidence back to campus and see what you can do in fall ball.
Misses down and away, 2-1. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the whole premise of summer ball, is give guys a chance to build some confidence. Swinging a fly ball into right field, charging in after it is Boone. He will make the catch in fair territory before crossing.
Hey everybody, I'm KSN Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman. It's been a warm afternoon here at the ballpark. Temperatures soared into the lower 90s earlier on, but now a cold front continues to push to the south. I'm not expecting any rainfall here at the stadium. All of the rain should be well to the south-southeast of us. And considering we're on the cooler and the drier side of this front, temperatures will feel rather refreshing once the sun sets tonight. For this evening, 81 degrees. Heading home, 72, and look at how gorgeous tomorrow will be. Skies will eventually become mostly sunny, and highs will bounce back to around 83 degrees, which is below normal for this time of year. Enjoy your evening. Remember, you can always get your updated forecast at KSN and at KSN.com.
to 29
10 seconds.
Visit us at 4460 South Seneca in Wichita. We are Wichita's full-service tire center. Call Chris at Wichita Tire and Alignment.
6, 7, 8 coming to the plate for the Hayes Larks as we move into the bottom half of the 4th inning here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Denning Garrick and Brad Streeter bringing you this Pool B winner-take-all matchup between the Hayes Larks and the Seattle Studs. Donovan Feenstra back out to face Mikey Gangwish, Jacob Boston, and Jace Seltzer. And he deals ball 1 to get us started here in the bottom half of the 4th. Hayes with 2 runs in the bottom half of the 2nd. Studs with their lone tally in the 3rd. Feenstra looking for a 2nd consecutive 0 on the scoreboard. Swing and a foul off to the left side, out of play by Gangwish. And it's 1-1. This is the part of the order that got it started for the Larks in that 2nd inning. Gangwish led off the frame with a single and eventually came around to score. 1-1. Wave and a miss as he cuts through a breaking ball and nearly spun himself into the turf. 1-2.
That might have been one of those that you look back on tape and realize maybe the form was all wrong.
That was a fastball swing at not a fastball. 1-2. There was a fastball check swing. He run around. Gangwish could not hold up, according to home plate umpire Josh Shepis, and it's a strikeout to start things here in the bottom half of the 4th.
Third baseman number 16, Jacob Boston.
I suppose that was the best pitch to come back with after that swing. Had him all tied in knots. And back-to-back punch-outs for Feenstra as Boston will stand in. Boston also singled and scored in that 2nd inning, and he's going to line this one fair down the 3rd base line and moving in towards the corner. Boston will dig his way around first. He's headed for 2nd. It's bobbled out there by Becker, and that's going to allow Boston to pull in with a 1-out double.
I want to go back to that at bat by Gangwish, and usually whenever you have a pitcher, we always talk about where the ball happens to be located. We always talk about speed, and we talk about, cutting the ball just a little bit, taking a little speed off of it or what have you. But usually it's that arm speed that really throws the batters off, and I think that's one of the things that really kind of got Gangwish. The fact that Feenstra has really good arm control, and he's bringing that thing just about the same spot, same speed just about every pitch that he throws.
He deals a fastball up and inside to the first baseman, Jace Seltzer, who was trying to lay down a sacrifice bunt his first time up, but Feenstra never came anywhere close, and he walked on 4 pitches. Will not be bunting here, you would think, and he takes a slider down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. 1 run on 4 hits, no errors for the Studs. 2 runs on 4 hits and 1 error for the Hayes Larks. That error committed by the pitcher Walter Pennington, but it did not come back to bite him. 2-0 is in tight. 7 pitches so far to Jace Seltzer. He has not seen a strike yet. And there is some activity beginning down in the Seattle Studs pen as Feenstra continues to see the pitch count climb. Winds and fires a 3-0, and that's right down the heart of the plate, 3-1. Only needed 10 pitches to get through the 3rd, so he entered this frame at 53. But now dealing with a runner at 2nd base and 1 out and a 3-1 count. Nods at the sign from Breda. Here it is. Upstairs with a breaking ball, and it is a 1-out walk to Seltzer to put men at 1st and 2nd for Trey Ochoa. And that is going to go ahead and prompt a visit to the mound. And I believe it is the aforementioned Luke Goodgen who is warming up in the pen for the Seattle Studs right now. The left-hander getting ready just in case Feenstra is unable to complete this frame. It's a very quick mound visit.
It was so quick that it didn't even warrant a visit from home plate umpire Shepis to go out there and break things up.
And normally you'd see a visit like that where the pitching coach or the head coach is out there to buy some time, but if that was a stalling tactic, it was a terrible one. I assume it was just a strategic conversation to try and get Feenstra back into the right state of mind as he faces Ochoa. And it's tap foul back to the screen, 0-1. Ochoa brought home a run with a sacrifice fly his first time up. Lifted one out to the right fielder Riker, whose throw to the plate was just a little bit late, trying to catch Gangwish. Boston at second, Seltzer at first. 0-1 stays upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Seattle Studs, 37-7. The Hayes Larks, 30-12. But one of these teams' season will come to an end tonight. Grounded foul up the third baseline, sent Frank Leo ducking out of the way, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The winner of this game will be the second qualifier out of Pool B, and so they will take on the San Diego, California Waves at a time to be determined. All those games will take place tomorrow. Down and outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The only matchup that is set in stone right now is the 7 o'clock one. The Derby Twins will play the Kansas Stars. We know the Santa Barbara Foresters will play the Everett Washington Merchants, but we don't know what time yet. And then the Cheney Kansas Diamond Dogs are waiting on the winner of the game to follow this one tonight. On the outside corner, called strike 3. Ochoa heads back to the dugout. He is caught looking for the second strikeout of the inning for Feenstra. And he's 1 out away from getting out of this frame unscathed if he can get through the top of the order and Keone Givens.
Center fielder number 4, Keon Givens.
Givens has singled to right center field and then bounced into a fielder's choice. Did drive home a run on that 4-6 fielder's choice, but he is waving over a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Right-hand hitter, closed stance, right up against the back line of that batter's box, the 0-1. Another slider, and it's in there for a called strike 2. And if I'm Feenstra, I'm not throwing anything else until Givens shows he can put a good swing on it. Threw one back foot that got Givens to wave through it, and then snapped that one in for a strike. Here comes his 0-2. It's a fastball, and it's shot foul. Watch out. Let's see if everyone's okay over there. I think it caught somebody's shoulder. That is why you got to pay attention, folks. That is a screaming line drive into foul territory. Thankfully, I think everyone is going to be no worse for the wear. The 0-2 is swung on and missed. A slider down and in.
For every celebration, for every 6 a.m. wake-up call, for every heartache, for every homecoming, for every home, there is York. Environmentally responsible and technologically advanced to provide the optimal home environment while keeping you connected. Life by you, comfort by York.
For 6 generations, this land has provided for this Kansas farmer's family. Now, it also provides affordable, clean energy for Kansas. Watch the full story at weststarenergy.com/clean energy.
The Studs coming to the plate with 9-1-2, and Matt Becker, who bunted for a base hit his first time up, takes ball 1 to get the frame started. Becker has scored the lone Seattle tally after that bunt single, came in to score on the Savage RBI single. He flies this one foul off to the left side. Giving chase is Boston, but it's going to be well back and out of play, and it's 1-1. Studs have had their chances, but only have 1 run to show for it. Stranding 1 apiece in the first and second, and then 2 more in that third, even though they did score. Brief audio malfunction there caused some music to emanate from the speakers, and Josh Shepis alertly calls time. 1-1 on the inside corner from Pennington, and it's 1-2.
Well, we've been serenaded by the kazoos, so.
That's true. Why not?
Seattle's answer to the vuvuzela.
Upstairs to Becker, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Seattle always travels exceptionally well. They have a large number of fans here in Wichita, and why not with the success that they've had. 2-2. Chopping ground ball up the first base line. Seltzer waiting for it. Got it. Runs to the bag. Just does get there ahead of Becker. And wow, that kid can fly. He is out by a half a step this time, and the Larks are certainly pleased to keep him off the bases. Turned a routine 2-hopper into a bang-bang play at first. So we head back to the top of the order for Landon Riker.
His feet just move faster.
Are you saying he's a more likely candidate to hit a triple than you?
Give me the over-under.
Not good for you.
Okay, all right.
Upstairs to Riker, 1-0. The over-under is just bad, I think. Swing and a miss,
3
1-1.
bases.
I would bet he could run to third before you could get halfway to second.
I would definitely say that's a good money bet.
1-2 as Pennington hits the outside corner.
I don't think you get a lot of action on that one. No, I take that back. You probably would.
Just on him.
Just take a look at Becker. Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Pennington gets Riker to chase up and out of the strike zone, and it is strikeout number 3 for Pennington. The first time he has struck out someone not named Nick Anderson. And he is in search of his second straight 1-2-3 inning as Connor Savage will dig in. Savage has bounced out to second, then grounded an RBI single back into center field in the third, and he takes strike 1. As Pennington maybe starting to settle into a groove just a little bit. He has retired 7 in a row, and he's probably going to make it 8. Ground ball down to first base. Seltzer's toss, the tap of the bag, and it's in time to retire Savage as he ended up tossing his bat out towards the mound. Thankfully, it didn't hit Pennington, and the studs didn't hit Pennington either. We move to the bottom half of the 5th. Our score remains, it's Hayes 2 and Seattle 1. This is the NBC World Series on KQAM.
If you're farming today, you know all about taking risks. Well, here's one risk you don't have to take anymore. The risk of IDID, or internal diesel injector deposits. Because now Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster Premium Diesel Fuel has an advanced injection stabilizer to prevent IDID. So you don't have to risk injector failure, clogged filters, and downtime anymore. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster is even backed by a 10-year, 10,000-hour warranty for even less risk.
In our Kansas City, Kansas, and Newkirk, Oklahoma, Two Rivers Co-op.
Hello everyone, this is the X-Man, Xavier McDaniel. I always played on a winning team, whether it was with the Shockers or in the NBA. When I look for a winning team in the insurance business, hands down, it's Bill Barnes, Allstate Insurance Agency. With over 30 years...
15 seconds, guys, 15.
...in the Wichita area. This is a slam dunk, in my opinion, of who I want on my insurance team. Give them a call today at 316-773. 9864 and tell me the X-Man sent you.
The Hayes Larks lead the Seattle Studs by the score of 2-1. We're into the bottom half of the 5th inning here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. It's Jonathan Soberanes, Colin Simpson, Trevor Boone, 2, 3, and 4 coming to the plate. Donovan Feenstra, the left-hander, is back out for another inning, and he deals a first pitch strike to Soberanes, 0-1. Soberanes has laid down a sacrifice bunt and then chopped one out to the shortstop Anderson his last time up. He is 0 for 1. The 0-1 pitch is bounced down and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. I would not be surprised, I know this sounds a little unorthodox, if Feenstra only faces Soberanes and they want to bring on the left-hander for Simpson waiting in the on-deck circle. Soberanes towards the gap in right center field. That's slicing away from Savage, and it's going to get down and roll towards the warning track. Pulling into second base with a leadoff double is Soberanes. And the Larks have something cooking here in the bottom half of the 5th.
Bringing out the best of lives we touch, bringing possibilities in our DNA, so we take the extra time to get to
That was a nice play, honestly, by the center fielder Savage to track that ball down as quickly as he did. He ended up barehanding it in the gap. But Soberanis, no problem pulling into second base easily. Quick visit to the mound from Breda. The move hasn't been made yet. I think they're going to announce Simpson. And we wait. And no, they will leave in Feenstra to face Simpson, who has walked and then popped out his last time up. And he takes the first pitch strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Left-hand hitter. All he is really looking to do is hit something to the right side at the very least. That would advance Soberanis. He takes upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. But Trevor Boone, the man in the on-deck circle, has really had a rough go of it in this NBC. He does not have a hit yet, 0 for 11. And so maybe Simpson looking to drive home the run himself. 1-1. Ground ball is foul. Hanging breaking ball, and we've got another nice play over there by the Hayes Larks first base coach, who continues to put on a show. You saw him range after a ball maybe 15 feet to his left in an earlier contest in this tournament. Came up empty-handed that time, but makes the play here.
He does realize he's already played his way into the coach's box, right?
I'm not sure he's aware.
Doesn't have to dazzle him with defense.
Swing and a miss. Great breaking ball from Feenstra gets Simpson. That's another punch out for the Seattle Studs left-hander, when 1 out in the frame as he gets a very dangerous hitter to chase a pitch down and out of the strike zone. So now it is the aforementioned Boone, who has struck out swinging and flown out to left tonight. And he rockets it foul off to the left side and well out of play. 0-1.
Looks like that one might have gone down the tunnel.
Not easy to do. You get bonus points for that.
Yeah, I think you've got to hit a real nice spot to be able to pinball that one back down the ramp.
Feenstra steps off, trying to get on the same page with his catcher. He's got Soberanis out at second. 1 out in this bottom of the 5th inning. Hayes leads Seattle 2-1. Down and inside, a backhand pick by Breda to keep the ball in front on what was not an easy stop, as the count moves to 1-1. Should mention Feenstra now with 7 strikeouts through 4 1/3 innings of work. Has caused the pitch count to climb just a little bit. Tap foul right at home plate by Boone, 1-2. He is now right around 80 pitches, playing here in the bottom half of the 5th. But has done a good job of limiting the damage. Has held the Larks to 2 runs on 5 hits so far. Soberanis dancing off second. Pitches low, another block by Breda. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Soberanis is one of the more aggressive base stealing threats in this Larks lineup. He was 6 of 7 in the regular season for a team that stole 35 bases in 37 attempts. Just getting a piece of a fastball is Boone, running in on his hands, and he barely stays alive to keep it 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Boone doesn't have a very quiet bat. He really kind of works the wrists around just a little bit. Not sure if that might be throwing him off just a little bit. I'm not sure if that's just something he's just kind of picked up over the summer. Well, there you go.
He grounds it into left field, a base hit. Soberanis is going to get a stop sign at third as Becker was shallow, but it's going to put runners at the corners with 1 out as Boone finally breaks out of his doldrums, snaps an 0 for 11, and he puts runners at the corners with 1 out. The batter will be Clayton Raspberry, and this may be all for Donovan Feenstra, as now we have a visit to the mound. No signal has been made yet. The left-hander Gudgeon continuing to toss. The entire infield will converge, and there it is. A signal down to the left field bullpen, and that will be all for Donovan Feenstra. We'll tell you about the new Seattle Studs arm when we come back. Our score, Hayes 2 and Seattle 1. This is the NBC World Series on KQAM.
Friends helping friends, neighbors helping neighbors, Jim's Apple Apple Market of Cheney has been your small-town, locally owned grocery store for decades. Open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. You can count on Jim's Apple Market of Cheney. And Jim's Apple Market of Cheney, always serving you, has become more than just your grocery store. It's your authorized U-Haul dealer and your headquarters for Traeger wood pellet grills. Locally owned and operated, Jim's Apple Market of Cheney. Learn about their weekly specials at myapplemarket.com. A public golf course with a country club feel and attention to its patrons awaits you. Cherry Oaks Golf Course of Cheney. Take the short drive west to Cherry Oaks of Cheney. Consistent green speeds, no aggressive play-throughs or waits on the tee box. Stress and hassle?
10 seconds, 10 seconds.
And enjoy your golf experience and lifestyle at Cherry Oaks of Cheney, the public course with the country club feel. Cherry Oaks.
The Seattle Studs have turned things over to left-hander Luke Goodgen, 6'4", 205 pounds, from Kent, Washington, with runners at the corners and one out here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. The Larks threatening to extend what is already a 2-1 lead, but they'll have to do so against a very difficult southpaw, Guyan Goodgen, who played his college baseball for Lewis and Clark State. He was drafted in the 33rd round of the 2012 MLB draft by the Tampa Bay Rays, played 1 year in their Gulf Coast affiliate, going 0-1 in 12 games with a 1.80 ERA, and then last played professionally in 2013 with Joliet, the Slammers out of the Frontier League, where he went 1-2 with a 3.82 ERA in 36 games. All those appearances professionally in relief for the left-hander from Kent, Washington, who comes on to face Clayton Raspberry. Raspberry was 0 for 2 against the starter Feenstra, both times striking out swinging. And so he is happy to see that lefty out of there, but it really doesn't get any easier. As Goodgen will work off the first base side of the rubber. He's got Soberanis at third and Boone on at first. Comes to a letter high set and deals. A fastball upstairs, a pump fake down to third base by Breda, but he holds on to it, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, and Luke, just in case you're wondering, Uncle John Boy is watching from the beach in Hawaii.
No pressure.
At least not on John.
1-0, and instead a move over. That's going to chase Boone back to the bag. He was 2 for 2 in stolen bases in the regular season. And now time is called as Raspberry tired of waiting. Clayton Raspberry from Stephen F. Austin takes a fastball strike on the outside corner, and while the radar gun is not functioning tonight, that looks to be moving with some pretty good velocity. Out of the big, tall frame of Goodgen, 6'4", 205, long and lanky. 1-1, up and outside, 2 balls and a strike. The line right now for Feenstra, 4 1/3 innings, struck out 7. He walked 3, allowed 6 hits, threw 86 pitches in those 4 1/3, and is still responsible for the 2 men aboard. 2-1. Squaring to bunt is Raspberry, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. Another pump fake from Breda. He doesn't throw down, but that was interesting. Second time tonight that the Larks have shown squeeze. But Raspberry got a strike and just didn't lay it down. Swing and a miss, up and inside. Raspberry's down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight. And Goodgen gets himself a big strikeout. 2nd out of the inning. And 1 out away from escaping unscathed if he can get through the catcher, Mikey Gangwish.
Cleanup Better, brought to you by OxyFresh Carpet Cleaning, the world's greenest carpet cleaner.
Gangwish has singled and struck out tonight.
Catcher number 18, Michael Gangwish.
First offering to him. Swing and a miss. Slider working to the outside part of the plate. And Gangwish could not make contact. Nothing in 1. Inning started on Soberanis' double. Simpson struck out, but then Boone singled. And another swing and a miss by Gangwish. Another slider to the outside portion of the plate. And he is down 0-2. See no real reason for Gudgeon to deviate from this plan of attack right now. He's got the sign. Breda sets up away. 0-2. Fastball this time. He ran it off the plate outside, just showing Gangwish something else. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Larks lead 2-1. Winner advances to championship week quarterfinals. Loser goes home. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here it is. Ground ball out towards second base. Lavelle has got it. He'll go the short way to second, and the side is retired. Nice job by left-hander Luke Gudgeon.
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, head to visitwichita.com for all there is to see and do.
For 6 generations, this land is provided for this Kansas farmer's family. Now, it also provides affordable, clean energy for Kansas. Watch the full story at weststarenergy.com/clean energy.
Capable of tying this game up with 1 swing. He already has 2 home runs in the tournament. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Another changeup. Budnick out in front. 0-2. Walter Pennington is firmly in a groove. He has set down the last 8 men that he's faced, and the guy who reached before that 8-batter string just reached on his own fielding error. Changeup misses barely outside. 1-2. So Frank Leo riding his tall left-hander. He throws a fastball barely down and inside. Budnick has shown a good eye as he has taken 2 very close pitches that have just missed the plate in the estimation of home plate umpire Josh Shepis. 2-2. Foul back over our heads and off to the right. We'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hayes with their 2 runs in the second. Seattle with their run in the third. 1 run on 4 hits for the Studs. 2 runs on 6 hits for the Larks. Changeup fades down and outside, and Budnick has worked it from 0-2 to 3-2, leading off here in the top of the 6th. Pennington ready. Full count delivery on the way is up and outside, ball 4. And how about that at bat from Ryan Budnick? Deep in a hole, and he draws the leadoff walk.
Visit WichitaFCU.com for details.
Lauren Archibald, the designated hitter, will stand in now. It's bounced out to third and then popped out to short. 2 at-bats against the left-hand throwing Pennington. Bounces a slider down and outside. It's blocked there by Gangwish. 1 ball and no strikes. Lauren Archibald, certainly familiar with a number of these Hayes Larks. He plays his college ball at OU. Started his career at Lower Columbia Community College, and he drives one into left field. Raspberry is back now in as the wind really made that ball die, but he makes the catch, heading towards the line for the first out.
Usually with a ball coming off a left-hander's bat, you're going to see it kind of tail away towards the line to begin with, but to have that wind blow right into it, it just kind of multiplies that. Blows it not only a little bit further towards the line, but also blows it down. So nice job adjusting there in left field.
It's Kyle Bowe who digs in now, and he takes a first pitch strike. That looked like some kind of a route designed by Google Maps, where it goes straight back, turn left, come in, go over. Not efficient, but it got you there.
You have arrived at your destination.
Eventually, yes. 0-2 on Bowe as a fastball needled the inside corner from Pennington. He is in the catbird seat once again. Kicking the pitch. Bouncer out toward shortstop. Could be two. Ochoa to second for one. Relay on to first by Soberanes is in time. 6-4-3. Bowe bounces into the twin killing. And it's another scoreless frame tossed up there by Walter Pennington. We move to the bottom of the sixth. The score remains Hayes 2 and Seattle 1. This is the NBC World Series on KQAM.
Jesse Soria of Cholitas Mexican Restaurant. Me and my wife have owned it for over 30 years. I have 5 kids, raised them all in the restaurant. I grew up working in the restaurant industry.
So you just keep it close.
I feel like we're locally owned. We're going to see you guys wherever we go shopping. You guys are going to see us, and it's important that we bring you a good product because we take pride in what we do. Cholitas Mexican Restaurant, Westlink Shopping Center, Central and Tyler. Open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
AutoCraft is proud to call Wichita home for 40 years. We are local and family owned. We believe using locally owned businesses is important to maintaining a healthy community. Local faces being there for you long after the job is done. AutoCraft uses local suppliers whenever possible. Eco-friendly products, giving back to local charities. Put
10
that
seconds.
extra smile on someone's face. AutoCraft invites you to join us to keep it local. So let's work together to grow a strong and healthy community. Be sure to visit us at autocraftinc.com.
Into the bottom of the sixth here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, and a full-blown pitcher's duel has broken out. The Hayes Larks still clinging to a 2-1 lead over the Seattle Studs, as left-hander Luke Goodgen is back out for his first full inning of work to face the bottom three in the Hayes order. And his first pitch fastball is on the outside corner to Jacob Boston. 0-1. On the Larks, third baseman has been the offensive catalyst tonight with a single and a double. He's also scored one of their 2 runs. And he takes low on a pitch that bounced in front of home plate, 1-1. Boston, Seltzer, Ochoa, the scheduled hitters. Righty, lefty, and a switch hitter. 1-1, swing and a miss. Changeup. Boston waves through it, 1-2. This is the third game of the night here at the NBC. Both games before us finished with 3-2 scores. Cheney knocking off the San Antonio Angels 3-2, and the San Diego Waves beat the U.S. national team. Swing and a miss. Boston down on strikes, and Goodgen continues to set down all who oppose him. He has retired all 3 that he's faced, 2 on strikeouts. And it's 1 up and 1 down for the Larks here in the sixth as Jace Seltzer will dig in. Seltzer walked twice against the starter Feenstra, and he watches a first pitch fastball run outside for ball 1. Left on left matchup. 1-0. Works up and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Goodgen, kind of an interesting story. He's battled his way back from some injuries, including a broken elbow and a detached retina. Ground ball out towards shortstop is gobbled up by Anderson. His throw to first is in time. Seltzer is out, and it's 2 up and 2 down for the Larks. He's played at 3 different colleges. College of the Ozarks in Missouri, Green River Community College, and then finally Lewis and Clark State, where he was drafted. But just for a guy like that to get into professional baseball, overcoming those injuries, is pretty impressive. As Ochoa slaps it foul, 0-1.
Those elbow injuries.
Those are bad. But
those are
a detached retina isn't great either.
No, it's really not. If you had your druthers.
Down and outside, 1-1. Yeah, vision and an arm, both integral parts of the pitching process. And Goodgen had to recover from injuries to both. a little bit tight here to Ochoa. 2 balls and a strike. He has lifted a sacrifice fly and struck out looking his last time up. 2 balls and a strike. Here it comes. Fastball is on the inside corner, 2-2. And you might think, well, sure, he's made it back, but now he's pitching for a college summer team. But the Seattle Studs have a long history of sending guys to professional baseball, so this is not the end for Goodgen. Chopper out to short. Anderson's throw on a bounce, not in time. Ochoa beats out an infield single as he was hustling down the line, and the throw from Anderson came in on a bounce. That may have made the difference. 2-out single for the Hayes shortstop sends us back to the top of the order for Keone Givens, who has singled, bounced into a fielder's choice, and struck out. Case in point, if you're just looking for a recent example of guys to make it from the Studs to the pros, the guy who was supposed to start tonight, Mitch Vito, signed by the Seattle Mariners just a few days ago, reported to their spring training complex in Peoria. Studs have had a long-time connection with Driveline Baseball, a throwing and arm care program that has been known to help guys with some increased velocity as the fastball misses down and inside to Givens, 1-0. In fact, the Wichita Wingnuts, the team that plays here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, has a former Seattle Stud on their roster, right-hander Tyler Kane. Bunted into the mid of the catcher Breda as Givens tried to lay one down and just redirected it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kind of harkens back to the roots of what the NBC World Series was in its original format. Semi-pro teams, 1-1, in there for a strike, 1-2. You would see a lot of company teams coming to Wichita, or at least company-sponsored teams. And the Studs, one of the few true semi-pro / amateur teams still kicking around. Bounced in, nice block by Breda as he again picked it on the backhand and then immediately looked Ochoa back to first. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hayes leading 2-1 as we play here in the bottom half of the 6th. Goodgen will step off. Ochoa is certainly a threat to run, 3 for 3 in stolen bases in the regular season. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes, way up and outside. And it's run full. Larks would be happy to get Soberanes to the plate with a couple men on. Ochoa will get the head start on this 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. Goodgen brings the hands to the set, and time is called. This time it's Givens who steps out. Activity beginning down in the Hayes Larks bullpen down the right side. 3-2, down and inside, ball 4. Givens had to spin out of the way. And a couple of runners with 2 outs for Hayes. Has put 2 men aboard for Jonathan Soberanes. Just a half second, all that separated Trey Ochoa from that ground out or an infield single that would have ended the frame. But he beats it out for his single, and then Givens battles back to draw a walk. And so now it's the Larks second baseman Soberanes, who has laid down a sac bunt, grounded out to short, and then doubled to the gap in right center. Goodgen's first, his fastball that runs low. In case you're wondering, Walter Pennington is at 79 pitches for Hayes. So we'll see if he is asked to come back out for the top of the 7th. And an inside move, or something that vaguely resembled it, from Goodgen.
Might have been an apt description. Kind of a step, not really. Okay, all right, eye contact, that's all we got.
Up and outside, snap throw down by Breda, and it's not in time, as just getting a hand back in was Ochoa. Breda has shown off a lightning quick release and a strong arm behind the plate. Nearly has picked off a couple runners at second tonight. But the end result was ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on Soberanes. Goodgen suddenly running into trouble, and now he's fallen behind 3-0. This inning looked like it was all but over. And that chopping ground ball out to short, but Anderson's throw was low, skipped in just a little bit late. And now the Larks threatening to load the bases. Goodgen checks on the runner and deals, and that's right down the heart of the plate, 3-1.
You know, for the catcher, Bretta, to have a strong enough arm to be able to keep the guys at second a little bit more wary of what's going on, you cut down one step, that could prove to be huge in a ball that's not hit all that deep to the outfield.
There's a fastball that pops the mid on the inside corner, 3-2. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can cut down on a secondary lead. That could play a vital role in a play at the plate. Shouldn't prove to be as big of a deal here, as now both runners are going to get a head start on 3-2. There they go. Fouled off. Soberanes, a good cut, sends it back to the screen, and we will do it again.
It's interesting you bring up the secondary lead, and I was thinking about Augie Garrido, who was at Texas. That was one of his trademarks, was being able to teach that secondary lead, and that was something that I know coming up in high school, that was something that was just pounded into us. And just once you get your lead, once you get established, as soon as that pitcher gets into motion, you see those base runners just bounce on down the line.
Inside, just a little bit tight from Goodgen, and he has now loaded the bases. Back-to-back walks to Givens and Soberanes. And the Larks have something cooking with 2 outs that's going to prompt a visit to the mound from a guy in Luke Goodgen who looked to be on a roll. He retired the last 2 men that he faced in the 5th, striking out Raspberry and Gangwish, then struck out Boston to start this frame, got Seltzer to bounce out to short, but he has run into some choppy waters after his initial smooth sailing. And now we'll have to contend with the Jayhawk League Triple Crown winner in Colin Simpson. He has walked, popped out to first, and struck out swinging tonight. And so maybe the most important at-bat in the game up to this point will be a left-on-left matchup with Goodgen and Simpson.
Look for something to be happening there in the first couple of pitches. Simpson's got to have an eye on something early.
First offering to him. Grounds it right side. That's going to be a base hit. 1 run will score. Getting the wave around is Givens. Here comes the throw in. It's a good one. The tag. He is out. What a throw from the right fielder Riker on 1 hop in, and the tag applied by Breda as Givens is cut.
Hey, you'll want to sit down for this, because you can get a large 2-topping Pizza Hut pizza for $7.99 delivered, which you can reorder using the Hut Seat. Okay, that thing's ridiculous. Simply reorder on your phone with just a few clicks. It's the easiest way to order. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Tires. Special tire size requests are welcome. Call us at 522-2919 or visit us at 4460 South Seneca in Wichita. We are Wichita's full-service tire center. Call Chris at Wichita Tire and Alignment.
Three to 1, Hayes our scorer as we move into the top half of the 7th inning. Left-hander Walter Pennington is back out to face Dylan Lavelle, Nick Anderson, and Garrett Breda. And he throws outside to Lavelle to get the 7th inning underway. That was pitch number 80 for the left-hander from Broomfield, Colorado, who's allowed just a run on 4 hits so far. He deals a changeup low, and it's now 2-0 to Lavelle, who has singled and grounded out to the third baseman, Boston. 2-0 on the outside corner, 2-1. I think both teams probably pretty pleased with the outcome of the bottom of the 6th. On one hand, Hayes got a run out of a situation where they had 2 outs and nobody on. Here's a bouncer out towards shortstop. Ochoa gloves and throws out Lavelle. 1 up and 1 down for the Studs. On the other hand, though, Seattle has got to be pretty happy on that throw from Riker that cut down Givens at the plate to end the frame. Could have been at least 2 in and threatening for more for Hayes, but instead the frame closed down with just the 1 tally across. And now time is called, and making the walk out to the mound is Frank Leo. Wonder if this is it for Walter Pennington. What is... Leo is jogging out towards center field. He is jogging out towards Keone Givens, who is again the man who was thrown out at the plate to end the last half inning. And I wonder if he injured himself and Leo saw something. Did you see anything from Givens that indicated he might have been hurt on that play?
No, I didn't. I mean, it looked like they just kind of went.
NBC baseball fans, make some noise if you wish you were mowing your lawn right now.
Just kidding. What if you could mow your lawn right from your stadium seat? Seriously, get out your phone, go to the App Store, and download the Lawn Buddy app. The first 100 people to book service with Lawn Buddy will be entered to win free lawn care for the rest of 2017. Lawn Buddy. Push button, get lawn care.
We've all been there.
Shout out to Frank Leo for seeing that from the dugout. Popped up, shallow right field. I don't think Soberanis can see it, and he does find it eventually and makes the catch out in shallow right for the second out of the inning. He was holding his arms out to the side, and now he's kind of gesturing in front of his face like he could not see that ball, but it eventually came out of the lights, and Pennington continues to cruise along. He set down the first 2 he's faced here in the top of the 7th. It's Breda, the catcher now. He has flown out twice, once to left and once to right. First from Pennington, in there. Slider on the outside corner, 0-1. Talk about a big-time outing when his team absolutely needed it. Pennington has delivered in a big way. His changeup fades outside, 1-1. Just going to be a sophomore for the Colorado School of Mines. And now he's at a Breda 1-2 as he paints the outer black. 1 strike away from completing 7 quality innings tonight. His team already 7 outs away from clinching a spot in the quarterfinals. Foul tipped in and out of the mitt of the catcher Gangwish, who looked as if his leather had betrayed him there. We'll do it again at 1-2. Larks playing Breda to the pull side. Swing and a miss. Changeup down and outside. A strikeout for Pennington, and he works a 1-2-3 top of the 7th. We will stretch him out here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. On to the bottom half. The score remains Hayes 3 and Seattle 1. You're listening to the NBC World Series on KQAM.
Sand Creek Station Golf Club in Newton is bringing golfers together with the KGSO Special. 2 play for $50 during the month of July at Sand Creek Station. Range balls, green fees, cart, 2 play for $50 all month long at Sand Creek Station Golf Club in Newton. Sand Creek Station offers back tee overall length of 7,200 yards, so you can get out and stretch your game a little bit. Set your tee time now. Call 284-6161. 284-6161. 2 play for $50 Mondays through Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays after 4. Call Sand Creek Station now and ask for the KGSO Special.
Did you know that AutoSmart offers fleet service? AutoSmart features certified ASE technicians and same-day service for your fleet. AutoSmart will perform computer diagnostics on your vehicles, and they'll determine what repairs need to be done with your approval. You can get your fleet of vehicles serviced at AutoSmart, including brake jobs, oil changes, along with turning rotors and getting new tires. AutoSmart also offers a new 36-month or 36,000-mile warranty on service done, including parts and labor. With 2 convenient locations, call them today for your fleet at 316-524-2277.
We move onward to the bottom half of the 7th inning here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. It's getting late for the Seattle Studs, but for the time being, they will try and keep the game right where it is. The Larks in front by the score of 3-1, and left-hander Luke Goodgen is back out for another inning on the bump. He'll be facing 4, 5, and 6, Trevor Boone, Clayton Raspberry, and Mikey Gangwish. It'll be righty-lefty due up for the Larks against the left-hander Goodgen, who had set down the first 4 men that he faced, but then ran into trouble after a 2-out infield single. He walked Givens and Soberanes. Simpson singled through the right side to bring in 1, but an excellent throw by Landon Riker cut down Givens at the plate to win the frame. And so Goodgen will look for a much smoother bottom of the 7th as he tries to keep the Studs within striking distance. You hear the harmonica of Mike Dean going on in the background as he plays during this 7th inning stretch for another good crowd here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium.
Harmonica, is that a woodwind or is that a brass instrument?
I got
Baffled,
nothing.
I can see.
I got nothing.
Okay.
I'll take things I can't play for 800, Alex.
The gut bucket, is it a string or is it percussion?
I was never very musically inclined. And we're going to have a clock violation, thankfully enough, to change the subject. It's a penalty strike to Boone, and Goodgen's next offering is low 1-1. Of all the topics I thought we'd get into, instrument trivia was number 374 on my list.
Well, in a gut bucket reference at the NBC, I think this may be a first.
Outside to Boone, 2-1. Not in my notes tonight.
I don't blame you.
Fastball hit him. Ran up and inside, clipped Boone. And a leadoff man aboard for the Larks here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Not the way that Goodgen wanted to start this frame, as his command kind of continues to betray him. He has now handed out 3 free passes since entering, and that's going to get more activity down in the Seattle Studs pen. Xander Klaus, a right-hander, hurrying down there. And Goodgen makes a move over. He almost threw it away. One guy we will not be seeing out of the Seattle Studs pen is right-hander Taylor Thompson, who is a fixture for the Studs and at this NBC World Series for a decade. Goodgen's first is bunted up the first base line by Raspberry. It's a good one. The flip to Goodgen covering, and he missed the bag. An excellent bunt by Clayton Raspberry towards the second baseman Lavelle, and it was up to Goodgen to get over and cover the bag. He missed it, and Raspberry is aboard to put runners at first and second with nobody out on a pitch that it almost looked like the bunt was more in self-defense, but he got the job done.
Well, for Goodgen, it's almost like he was in no man's land to begin with. You're really trying to run up the baseline almost parallel with the runner, and I know sometimes that gets to be a little bit tough. That's what you're taught to do, but on an angle like that, that's virtually impossible to try to pull that off.
Here's Gangwish. I'd imagine he'll be bunting. Squares and fouls it back to the screen. Getting back to Thompson before we completely move away from that. He pitched for the Studs at the NBC from 2006 to 2016. He's a 2016 NBC World Series Hall of Fame inductee. And you'll hear why with the numbers here just in a second. As the 0-1 from Goodgen is bunted right back this way. Oh, just below us. I thought about it. I didn't have the glove. I just kind of scooted back.
Completely uncommitted is what that was.
That was complete lack of effort from me. And it's no balls and 2 strikes.
That's why you're always taking those ready steps. You're moving towards the contact. Move towards the contact. Glove out in front. Thumbs out.
I don't want to hear it right now. Up and inside, spins Gangwish out of the way. He had squared again on 0-2 and had to fall down to his backside just to avoid that offering. So Hayes unafraid of the bunt with 2 strikes. They're going to try and lay it down. Boone's out at second. Raspberry's on at first. Boone was hit by a pitch. Raspberry laid down a bunt single. Hayes threatening to add to what is already a 3-1 lead. Bottom of the 7th inning. The square and upstairs. Another pump fake by Breda, but this time does not throw through to second. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Seattle has the first baseman Budnick crashing, with the second baseman Lavelle set to cover the bag at first, in case that bunt is successfully put down by Gangwish. Here comes the 2-2. And he bunts it up the third base line. That's going to trickle foul, though. So the 2-strike bunt backfires. It'll be a strikeout of Gangwish, the first out in the inning, as the Larks catcher unable to get the bunt down successfully.
Third baseman number 16, Jacob Boston.
Anyway, as we have a visit on the mound now with the third baseman, Bo. The numbers for Taylor Thompson, who officially announced his retirement prior to this season. In 106 innings at the NBC World Series, he allowed 9 runs for an ERA of .76. Most dominant reliever I ever saw at this tournament. But his career came to a close. He is in the NBC Hall of Fame as Jacob Boston takes upstairs 1-0. Not a real imposing guy. Just kind of threw it from a funky arm slot from the right side and was really fun to watch. On the inside corner to Boston. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. He has singled and doubled, scored a run tonight, and also struck out swinging. Left-hander Luke Goodgen on the mound for the Studs. Agrees at the sign from Breda. Long pause in the 1-1. Runs outside. A changeup, 2 balls and a strike. The Larks now doubling up the Studs in hits. They've out-hit them 9-4. Hayes has committed the game's only error, but it did not come back to hurt them. Here's the 2-1. Check swing, foul ball. A little excuse me swing by Boston, and a pitch running in on his hands. And it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Larks up 3-1. Base hit could lengthen the cushion a little more. 2-2. Inside with a fastball. Didn't miss by much. Breda held it out there for Josh Shepis, but he didn't get the call, and it's full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jay Seltzer, a left-hand hitter, waits in the on-deck circle, but a huge pitch up coming for Goodgen. 3-2. Fouled off to the right side, out of play. We'll have another one. Studs will send 9-1 and 2 to the plate in the top of the 8th. They have just 6 more outs to work with. And it doesn't look like there's anyone warming down in the Hayes pen. So Walter Pennington looks like he's going to get a chance to come back out for that 8th inning. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, though. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Fastball up and outside, and Boston waves through it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Goodgen. This one of the more conventional variety. Now he can get out of this inning if he can get through Jay Seltzer. Seltzer walked twice and then bounced out to the shortstop Anderson, his last time up. First one to him, sprayed foul. Late swing by Seltzer, and it's 0-1. A teammate of Pennington at the Colorado School of Mines has gotten to watch Pennington carve up the Studs tonight. Fastball runs outside, 1-1. Boone out at second. He was hit by a pitch. Raspberry on at first. He bunted for a base hit. 1-1. Sprayed foul back to the screen. It's now 1-2. Donovan Feenstra went the first 4 1/3 innings for the Studs, and it's been Goodgen ever since. Has allowed a run since entering. And trying to strand a couple of Larks here in the bottom half of the 7th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's ready. The kick and the pitch. Inside almost hit him. Seltzer had to tuck his hands in out of the way. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trey Ochoa, switch hitting shortstop, waits in the on-deck circle. Seltzer ready. Goodgen ready. Here's the leg lift in the 2-2. Ground ball out towards shortstop. Lavelle gobbles it up. His toss to first is in time. And the Larks threaten but are turned aside in the bottom half of the 7th. We move onward to the 8th. The score still Hayes 3 and Seattle 1. You're listening to the NBC World Series on KQAM.
If you're farming today, you know all about taking risks. Well, here's one risk you don't have to take anymore. The risk of IDID, or internal diesel injector deposits. Because now Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster Premium Diesel Fuel has an advanced injection stabilizer to prevent IDID. So you don't have to risk injector failure, clogged filters, and downtime anymore. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster is even backed by a 10-year, 10,000-hour warranty for even less risk.
In Kiowa and Hazelton, OK Co-op Grain.
There's great specials at Davis Liquor Outlet every day of the week. All 7 days of the week, you can take 20% off cases of liquor every day at Davis Liquor Outlet. If you're a connoisseur of wine, that's fine. 7 days a week, 25% off all wine.
15 seconds. 15 seconds, guys.
20% off craft beers, and Thursdays 20% off any wine. With even more coupons available online at davisliquoroutlet.com. 4 independently owned locations to serve you across Wichita. Davis Liquor Outlet.
9-1-2 coming to the plate for the Seattle Studs. We're into the top of the 8th inning here in Wichita. Seattle trails Hayes by the score of 3-1. It's Matt Becker, Landon Riker, Connor Savage coming to the plate. First pitch, Becker bunts it up the first base line. Seltzer's in, he's got it, and this time he is going to have Becker and applies the tag as he tried to run by him. We saw Becker bunt for a base hit earlier, but this time it does not work out for him as he is tagged out on the first pitch here in the 8th.
Almost turned into a little moment of tag there. Becker was really kind of pushing that one just a little bit harder than what he wanted to, and maybe got in the wrong spot.
So we're back to the top of the order now for Landon Riker. He takes up and outside from Pennington. 1 ball and no strikes. Alex Weiss has come on to play third base for the Hayes Larks. He takes over there for Jacob Boston. 1-0. Fastball is outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Riker. Obviously, Seattle just trying to get a man aboard. Then anyone at the plate would represent the potential tying run. There's a strike, 2-1. Riker doubled down the third base line, leading off the ball game, has since laid down a sacrifice bunt and struck out. Now he foul tips it at the feet of Gangwish. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Walter Pennington delivering a performance for the Hayes Larks ages. We're going to have time called now as a ball got loose down in the Hayes Larks right field pen. Between innings, we saw the Seattle Studs throw all their bats out of the third base dugout, kind of kick them around, beat them on the railing. Just do anything they can to wake up the lumber. Foul back to the screen by Riker as he stays alive. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. With Connor Savage to follow and Ryan Budnick if anyone reaches in the frame.
I think what they need to do is ask to see if Pennington can just throw a couple of balls off the bats.
Fly ball left center field, charging in quickly. Givens won't get to it, and it's down for a base hit. 2 of the 5 hits tonight, courtesy of Landon Riker. This time he dumps one into shallow left center field. Givens got a good break on it, but he was playing kind of deep and never really had much of a chance to get to it, as Savage will stand in. Savage, the 2015 NBC World Series MVP when the Studs won it all that year. Takes down and outside, 1-0. They went 3-1 last season, lost to the Kansas Stars 10-2 to finish in 5th place. 1-0, slapped foul. 1 ball and 1 strike as Savage had a late swing and a pitch out away from him. This is the dangerous part of the Studs order with Savage, Budnick, and Archibald coming up. Fortunately for Pennington, 2 of those guys are lefties. He misses down and away. Good block by Gangwish. 2 balls and a strike. And it looks like Hayes has begun to warm up their outstanding left-handed closer, Tyler Starks, down the right field line. 7 saves for him in the regular season. And beginning to get loose with some urgency. Ground ball foul up the first base line. It was gloved over there by Seltzer, but just to the right of those red, white, and blue bases, and it's 2-2. Riker has good speed on at first base. 10 of 12 in the regular season in stolen bases, but probably not a running situation here. On the outside corner, called strike 3. Savage set down looking as Pennington drills the outside corner. And there's 2 down in the frame for Budnick. Savage certainly did not agree with the call. And now we're going to have time called, and a visit to the mound going to be made right now by Hayes pitching coach Keith Harper. So Harper will bring in the entire infield and meet with Walter Pennington, who has put up 7 2/3 innings tonight. He's got a dangerous hitter at the plate in Ryan Budnick, who has popped out, reached on a fielder's choice, and then walked his last time up.
Well, for Pennington so far tonight, I've been impressed with the way that he's been able to bounce back. Maybe a little bit of a rockier start just to get things started, but then you take a little bit of time and you look back at the batters that he had faced back from the second on. The first doesn't really look nearly as bad when you start looking big picture. He's really been in control just about the whole way tonight.
He has struck out 5 and walked 1. He's thrown 98 pitches. Pitch number 99 is something off speed that stays upstairs to Budnick, 1-0.
Got to feel that regardless of what happens, this is probably the end of the line.
You would think. Bounced low this time, well in front of home plate. Gangwish, again, like a brick wall back there, kept it in front. Nowhere for Riker to go, but it's 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, over 100 pitches with a left-hand hitter on deck and the left-hander Starks warm in the pen. You'd think this is the end. There's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. Leo and the Larks have certainly gotten everything that they could have ever asked for out of Walter Pennington tonight. Here's his 2-1. Tap foul right at home plate, 2-2.
Well, if it remains the same, this really kind of sets things up well for the Larks moving into the weekend.
Yeah, their bullpen will be well rested. But all they care about right now is trying to get 4 more outs. 2-2. Just outside. The Larks dugout explodes. A couple of guys leaning over the railing. But
I think Pennington was also laughing a little bit about that one.
For what it's worth, from up here, it looked to be a ball. But it was close. And so now Riker's going to get the head start. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Tap foul right at home plate. Big swing by Budnick. Just did get a piece. And the tension and the drama mount. Another 3-2 pitch upcoming. 3-1 Larks are scored. Top half of the 8th inning, a man aboard at first base and 2 outs.
It's going to look to battle off the ball that you don't want, with the one in play that you do.
Foul down the right field line, out of play. This time a fastball running away from Budnick, and he just drives it where it came. Was never fair, but hit a long way. And another 3-2 pitch will be on the way shortly.
We know how to make the difference for you. Visit teamfreedomrealestate.com.
Tank running close to E for Walter Pennington. He needs one more good one. Swing and a miss. Fastball up and outside.
It's a sunny morning of bliss. Tell falls in the abyss. When your morning is hell, just go to Taco Bell.
And let us make you an entire breakfast all wrapped up. The Breakfast Crunch Wrap, only at Taco Bell.
This bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
Seattle has made another call to the bullpen as we move into the bottom of the 8th inning here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. The Hayes Larks still clinging to a 3-1 lead. And Seattle has called upon Ben Ruff, who will make his way out of the left field bullpen. The right-hander from Fife, Washington, 5'9", 185 pounds, and he has been as close to automatic as it gets this season for the Studs. 1-0 with 4 saves and a .55 ERA in 16 1/3 innings. He'll be facing 9-1-2, Trey Ochoa, Keone Givens, and Jonathan Soberanes. Switch hitter and then a couple righties as he deals ball 1 to Ochoa to get things started here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Larks looking for some insurance against the right-hander Ruff. Works out of the stretch and deals. Fastball is cut on and missed. And it's 1-1 to Ochoa. Ruff brings the hands together, is 1-1. Changeup is up and outside, 2 balls and a strike. The line for Luke Goodgen, 2 2/3. He struck out 4, walked 2, allowed 3 hits and 1 run. Turns it over to Ruff now. 2-1. On the inside corner to Ochoa, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He has lifted a sacrifice fly to right, struck out looking, then singled and came around to score in the 6th. That's the last run for either team in the ball game tonight. And he takes just outside. Another changeup from Ruff that barely missed. And it's full at 3-2. Ruff, another guy with professional experience, played for the Fort Worth Cats in Indy ball back in 2014. And Ochoa fouls it back off the facing of one of the suites and down below. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Started his career, did Ruff, at Portland, moved on to Lower Columbia Community College, and then finished up with the Redhawks of Seattle. And he misses outside, a leadoff walk to Ochoa, and somebody stopped the presses because Ben Ruff this season in 16 1/3 innings had a strikeout to walk ratio of 23-1. He walked 1 guy all season, and he walks the first man that he faces here in the 8th.
Didn't even know those numbers were possible.
You know that scene in Miracle when the coach is talking about if you score against the Russian goalkeeper, you keep the puck? If you walk against Ruff, keep the ball. Right.
Yeah.
We're back to the top of the order for Givens. He squares to bunt and missed it. Bunting right through it. This is actually Weiss. Alex Weiss, who came on as a defensive substitution, bunting through that first offering from Ruff, and so it's 0-1. And there's a step off and a look over at first base by Ruff. Upstairs this time to Weiss, 1 ball and 1 strike. Weiss, the hometown kid, plays his college ball for Fort Hays State, and now trying to help propel the Hayes Larks into the NBC World Series quarterfinals. Check down with Frank Leo. Here's the 1-1. He squares again, bunts it out in front of the plate. That's going to do the job. barehanded by the catcher, and the toss by Breda is on to first in time to retire Weiss, but the sacrifice is executed as Ochoa will advance to second, and there's one down for Soberanes. I've been very impressed with Breda behind the plate tonight. He has shown some quickness, whether that's getting rid of a baseball on a snap throw down to second or jumping out from behind the plate there and fielding out with the bare hand to make the throw to first. Soberanes has laid down a sac bunt. He has also bounced to short, then doubled and walked his last 2 times up. And he takes down and away, 1-0. 3-1, the Larks in front. They got 2 in the second, 1 in the 6th. Seattle's lone run came in the top of the 3rd. Up and inside, watch out. Soberanes ducks out of the way. He is already wearing one of those face guards that projects from the left side of his batting helmet, protecting that inside portion of his face. Thankfully, that did not come into play there as he dodged that fastball from Ruff. 2-0, lined into right field, but it's at Riker, who hardly has to move, and he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Tough hitting luck for Soberanes, squared it up, but Riker had him positioned well, and Ruff 1 out away from sending us to the top of the 9th inning. The batter will be Colin Simpson. He has walked, popped out, struck out, and then grounded an RBI single through the right side his last time up. Swing and a miss, changeup, and a big cut from Simpson that we could feel the breeze up here. It's 0-1.
It's one of those swings that get you all spread out in the in the batter's box, and you usually have one knee on the ground.
Another changeup stays upstairs, 1-1. This Hayes team swings for the fences a lot, and they hit it over the fences a lot. Their 52 home runs led the Jayhawk League by a wide margin. Simpson bounces this one foul past the first baseman Budnick and down the line. 1-2. It's 4, 5, and 6 coming to the plate for the studs in the top of the 9th. Archibald, Bowe, and Lavelle, lefty, righty, righty, against either Walter Pennington or we would assume Tyler Starks, but we will wait and see. 1-2, just outside. Breda had already taken a couple steps towards the dugout, but not so fast, says Josh Shepis. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes on what was a borderline pitch. Certainly hit the spot. 2-2 now. Swing and a miss, but it gets through Breda. Simpson's digging for first, and he is going to reach base safely. So a huge break for the Larks as Simpson strikes out, but he advances as the offering gets through the wickets, and the Larks will have runners at the corners with 2 out for Trevor Boone. Boone, who already has a base hit on the evening to snap his offer in the NBC World Series so far this year. It has been scored as a wild pitch, but Ben Ruff dealing with more base runners than he probably had to deal with for much of this year with his .55 ERA. First one to Boone, swing and a miss. Fastball on the outside corner, and Boone with a big cut that came up empty. It's 0-1. In addition to his single, he has struck out, flown out to left, and was hit by a pitch. Changeup waves through it, 0-2. So Ruff has him all tied up with the first 2 offerings. Blew a fastball by him and then had him a year out in front of something off speed. 0-2. Foul back to the screen. Came right after him, and we'll do it again. Just 1 run on the 5 hits for Seattle. Hayes has turned 9 hits into 3 runs and worked around their 1 defensive miscue. There goes Simpson, got a good jump, and Boone rockets it foul down the third base line. Trickles all the way down towards the waiting Wellington Heat, who have congregated right by the field pass down there in the left field bullpen. They will take on the Mulvane Patriots in the game tonight. Swing and a miss by Boone. He's over the top of a changeup, and Ruff gets around the very rare leadoff walk to post a 0 here in the bottom half of the 8th. To the 9th we go. It's the last chance for the Seattle Studs. They'll need 2 to keep this one going. Our score, the Larks 3 and the Studs 1. You're listening to the NBC World Series on KQAM.
Make sure your vehicle's AC is just right with a free Freon level check now at Just Right Auto Repair. They'll make sure your Freon's good to go at no charge with the purchase of any other service. Oil change, tire rotation, radiator flush, just whatever's clever, and they'll throw in the AC Freon check free. Bob Schaefer at Just Right Auto Repair, just west of West Street on the north side of Central. Know that riding around in that vehicle with a malfunctioning air conditioner can make your attitude not quite just right. Just Right Auto Repair, 942-4747, 942-4747.
With over 20 years of tire and wheel experience, Wichita Tire and Alignment offers name brand tires, wheels, and auto repair services, including alignments, balancing, brakes, struts, and shock absorber work. Great customer service and great prices are our highest priority. We employ
15 seconds, guys, 15.
Sale and installation of passenger car, performance and light truck, or SUV tires. Special tire size requests are welcome. Call us at 522-2919 or visit us at 4460 South Seneca in Wichita. We are Wichita's full-service tire center. Call Chris at Wichita Tire and Alignment.
To the top of the 9th here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium, the Hayes Larks trying to punch their ticket to the NBC quarterfinals, and to do so they will turn it over to left-hander Tyler Starks to protect this 3-1 lead. Starks, the left-hander from Mesquite, Texas, 5'8", just 140 pounds, soaking wet, from Stephen F. Austin. But regardless of his weight and his size, he has been lights out this summer for the Larks. In 16 games, all in relief, he is 4-0 with 7 saves and a 1.45 ERA. 24 2/3 innings of work, he's allowed just 9 hits. Archibald in there from the left side takes the first pitch strike, and it's 0-1. Archibald is bounced out to third, popped out to short, and flown out to left. He's 0 for 3. And a tough task for him here against Starks, who drops a slider down and outside, 1-1. Kind of a short, quick arm action off the third base side of the rubber. He works exclusively out of the stretch. And it gets on you in a hurry. 1-1 coming. Down and inside with a fastball. 2 balls and a strike. We talked about the strikeout to walk ratio of Ben Ruff for the Studs. He was at 23-1. Starks is almost just as good. 44 strikeouts to just 6 walks. And he missed low. 3 balls and a strike. Maybe I've talked him into it. He's taken over for Walter Pennington, who was absolutely brilliant tonight. 8 innings, struck out 6, walked 1, allowed 5 hits and just 1 run. Lined into left field. That's a base hit. Lauren Archibald got himself into a hitter's count at 3 balls and a strike, and then he rifles it past the shortstop Ochoa for a leadoff single here in the top half of the 9th inning. And that is going to get a pinch runner immediately out of the Seattle Studs dugout. This is Jeff Brown, who is the starting pitcher for the Studs against the San Antonio Titans. And so he will take over for Archibald, who does his job. And the batter will be Kyle Bowe. Right-hand hitter against the lefty Starks. Fires in tight, 1-0. Studs dugout about as vocal as it's been all night. They have not had a whole lot to cheer about, but they have been on every pitch so far in this top of the 9th. Fouled off to the right side. Bowe had a good cut at it. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. He's a fairly good double play candidate. He's already bounced into 1 tonight. Has also flown out to center and rolled into a 6-4 fielder's choice. So he's hit 2 balls to Ochoa. Larks hoping for the trifecta. Nice slider snapped in there at the knees on the inside half. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kyle Bowe represents the potential tying run. Fouls it off, a hanging slider that time. Caught a little bit more plate than I'm sure Starks would have preferred. Oh, put a good swing on it. Still 1-2. Glove pinned up against his chest, and now Starks will step off. Facing a former professional player, Bo spent some time in indie ball back in 2011 with the Lake Erie Crushers. Takes outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Played his college ball for Western Oregon. 2-2 the count. Starks deals. High drive out towards center field. Boone drifting back on it, has it measured, and retreating will make the catch for the first out. Certainly not a bad swing from Bo, but there is a lot of room out there in center field, and Boone tracks it down for the first out.
Well, Bo definitely gave it a ride, but by the time you hit it out to about, 380, 395, somewhere around in there, the ball starts to die in this big ballpark.
Cole Maltese will come on as a pinch hitter now. He takes over for Lavelle. Will bat from the right side. Still has the pinch runner Brown on at first base. As Maltese will dig in. And he foul tips it into the mitt of Gangwish. 0-1. Lavelle will finish 1 for 3 with a single and a couple of groundouts. But the Studs may be wanting a guy who can tie this game up with one swing. Slider missed just inside. Maybe a touchdown as well. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We have virtually no wind right now, so up the line's probably going to be your best shot.
1-1. Slider on the outside corner, 1-2, and Starks with a heavy diet of off-speed stuff so far against the pinch hitter Maltese. Plays his college ball for Northern Colorado. Trying to be the hero for the Studs and prolong their season. 1-2. Down and outside, a fastball that time from Starks. Forces Gangwish to slide to his right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Larks trying to punch their ticket to take on the San Diego Waves, who will await the winner of this one. High fly ball out towards right center field. On the run is Boston, on the run Boone. Boone with a basket catch and will fire back in. Not the most aesthetically pleasing, but it got the job done out there in center field by Trevor Boone, as it looked like there was some confusion between him and Boston as to who was going to take it. And eventually it was Boone who made the call, and now the Larks 1 out away as Nick Anderson digs in. He lines the first pitch into right field, and that's going to be in for a base hit. And so the Studs aren't done yet. Brown advances to second and pulls in there. But Anderson, who had been 0 for 3 on the night, not waiting around, delivers a first pitch single.
Well, nice job by Anderson, but so far the Studs have really been starting to put the bat on the ball and really starting to sting it, at least in this half of the inning.
So now the potential go-ahead run comes to the plate, and it's all on the shoulders of the catcher Garrett Breda. He has flown out to left, flown out to right, and struck out swinging, all against the starter Pennington. Takes outside with a slider, 1-0. A game that has lived up to its billing and more. 2 of the best to ever play in this NBC World Series. And a dandy tonight. 3-1 Larks our score, top of the 9th. Fastball is low, popped in and out of the mid of Gangwish. May have been a strike, but the Hayes catcher unable to squeeze it. And now the count goes to 2-0. Archibald singled to start the frame. He was replaced by a pinch runner, a couple flyouts, and then another single. 2-0 is low. 3 balls and no strikes.
Well, now you get a little bit more thunder out of that Studs dugout.
9-hole hitter Matt Becker waits in the on-deck circle, hoping for a chance. 3-0. That's right down the heart of the plate, 3-1. Breda waits. 3-1 on the way. Slider in there for a strike. Breda had taken a couple steps towards first, but is brought back by Josh Shepis as the count runs full. 3-2.
Got to sell it early.
Both runners will now be on the move. So something in the gap, we could have a tie game. 3-2. Foul tipped. Breda just got a piece of it to stay alive, and we will do it again.
Is from Team Breda Real Estate. Stay informed of what's happening in Seattle real estate market at teambredarealestate.com.
Brown, the pinch runner at second. Anderson on at first. 3-1 Larks, top of the ninth inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Starks has the sign. Here it comes. Popped up. This should do it. Ochoa, the shortstop, calls for it. Behind the bag. He's got it. And the Hayes Larks have knocked off the Seattle Studs. They have punched their ticket to the NBC World Series quarterfinals in a thrilling 3-1 victory tonight at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. Brad and I will be back in a few moments to wrap this one up. This is the NBC World Series on KQAM.
Are you having trouble getting your crop out of the field due to the wet conditions? Susie Track Systems for your combine has state-of-the-art technology. Our rubber track systems places very little stress on the ground, even in extreme conditions created by muddy or wet soil.